a loophole that won't require hardly any work. You see this all the time. These, so-called gurus claiming that they have a magical solution that you can just put on autopilot and clients will start falling out of the sky. And again, for any of you who have been down that road, you're obviously here today because you know that that stuff doesn't work. The only systems that get real results are those that do require a little bit of work. And there is no get rich quick scheme. All right. But here's the deal. LinkedIn does have over 400 million members and growing rapidly. The 25% of all adults in the US alone are on LinkedIn. 40% of LinkedIn's users check the site every single day. And if you look at people like business executives and high net worth, affluent individuals, they're on it even more frequently. Some is like this, 76% of executives are on LinkedIn at least once a day. So there's no surprise that LinkedIn has the most affluent demographic of any of the social media sites. Right? And that means that the people with the big budgets to spend with the disposable income, they can be found on LinkedIn more than anywhere else. And one fact that not many people know is that LinkedIn is actually growing at twice the active user growth rate than either Facebook or Twitter. And that's according to one of LinkedIn's recent SEC filings. They have to file those with the government because they're a publicly traded company. And of course, there are millions of businesses on LinkedIn. So if you sell to other businesses, it's something that you just can't afford to ignore. Now check this out. Ipsos, a global market research firm, they did a study a while back, and they found that LinkedIn reaches more business elite and C-suite monthly than any other international news and business website measured. And in this study, they surveyed over 300,000 executives, and they covered the range of all sites out there. So business executives are spending more time on LinkedIn than any other website, period. And they looked at all the big ones. Again, so that is really saying something. And they also found that LinkedIn attracts the highest number of business decision makers with high net worth, people with big budgets. So there's got to be a way to tap into this, right? I mean, if there are hundreds of millions of people on it, and if all of your prospects are on it, which you know they are, and they're checking it every single day, there's got to be a way for you to tap into this, right? Well, yes, there absolutely is. There is a proven systematic process for tapping right into this supply of prospects and ideal clients that are just sitting there on LinkedIn and getting your share of the business that's out there to be had if you're willing to put in a little bit of time. And think about that for a second. The business is there. It's just a matter of who is going to get it. And I think that it might as well be you. So it's taken us literally 8 years to perfect this system. I mean, there's literally nobody else out there who has been doing this stuff as long as my team and I. And the beauty of this for you is that you can plug right into it and skip all the trial and error that we had to go through building it. So let me tell you just a little bit more about my story and how we came to discover this system. And it really all started back in 2006 when I first joined LinkedIn. And at the time, I was member number 6 million and change, which is really pretty early on considering LinkedIn now has over 400 million members. Now, back then in 2006, I was using LinkedIn to develop business for the company that I worked for, which was a construction and manufacturing company that I was the CFO of, so Chief Financial Officer. Fast forward to 2009, and unfortunately, that company was hit really hard by the downturn in the economy and was forced to shut its doors. So I was then faced with the decision. Do I want to go to work for another company or, do I want to go out on my own? And I had been really itching to do my own thing for a while and decided, let's give it a shot. So probably like you, at least like some of you, I was scared about starting my business, but I knew that I had to do it. And that's because then, just as now, I was a firm believer that if you want to get ahead, you have to take risks and go for it, which, I bet that's a lot like you, right? I mean, let me know in the chat if you agree with that. If you want to get ahead, you have to take risks and go for it. I'm betting I'm not the only one here. Let's see. Pierre said yes. Justin, totally. Yes, very much so. Daryl, Joseph, Dawn, Mary, always spot on. Yes, hell yes, agree. Yes, absolutely. Of course, right. Of course, definitely. Yeah, you guys are on here. We're all in this together, right? We're all cut from the same cloth here. You know, that's just a fact. Um, so I knew that I had to give it a shot. So I started Gateway CFO Solutions, and initially I was working as an outsourced CFO, essentially a business consultant. And I was successful pretty quickly in growing my client base. And LinkedIn and the framework that I'm going to show you today was one of the reasons why. Now, that business went really well, and by 2011, I started getting asked by some of my clients, what are these things that you're doing on LinkedIn, and would you be willing to do them for us? And that was it was a huge turning point in my life, because I worked out a deal with one of my clients, and that was the beginning of linked selling. And that very first client generated over $10 million in sales from the work that we did for them, which is amazing. And I knew almost immediately that we had something really, really special on our hands. So we started helping more companies, and things really started taking off. And we now have clients all over the US, Australia, the UK, Canada, even some in Asia. We've worked with companies in the Middle East, all over the place, that pay us to run lead generation campaigns for them within LinkedIn. Now, on top of linked selling, which is the client side of our business, which is about 75% of our volume, we also run Linked University, which is considered by many to be the leading LinkedIn training program available in the world today. And with Linked University, we've served over 6,000 businesses, and well over 100,000 business owners have been through our workshops and seminars over the last 4+ years. And along the way, we've been featured in all sorts of publications, and people have said a lot of nice things about us, including the Huffington Post here, who said one man has had a laser focus on LinkedIn for the past few years. He created a whole business out of it. His name's Josh Turner. He calls himself a B2B marketing expert specializing in LinkedIn. And as the founder of Linked University, which offers webinars and trainings to get the most out of LinkedIn, and Linked Selling, which has done work with LinkedIn marketing campaigns since 2010, it's a well-deserved title. So all of this exposure led to my book Connect, which is a Wall Street Journal bestseller and is considered by a lot of people to be the final word on growing your business with LinkedIn. And now, with all this, we're considered by a lot of people to be the best in the world at what we do, which is great because we've worked really, really hard to get there. And it's great for our clients because you know that you're in good hands when you're working with the best, right? And the real reason that we are considered the best in the world at what we do is that we know how to turn all this fluffy social media stuff into tangible results, into real results, into new business, which is why people like Neil Patel, companies like Microsoft have hired us to run LinkedIn campaigns for them. And guys, I'm not showing you this to brag or anything. All this stuff I've been telling you about, I just want you to know that this stuff is the real deal and that you have the opportunity to make a big step forward in your business, to really align your business with the best company in the world that doing this stuff, and to get some amazing results for yourself using our systems. And the one system that every one of our clients and students is implementing is what we call the linked selling system. Our agency clients pay us $30,000 plus a year to manage the process that I'm about to show you. And while I used to really hold this process, this system, really close to my vest because I didn't want it getting in the hands of my competitors or, giving our secret sauce away for free. My outlook on business and life has really changed because, to be totally honest with you guys, I've already made a lot of money. Our company has done really, really well for our clients, and in turn, our business has done really well. So hoarding these strategies and just keeping them for our high-end clients isn't something that really interests me anymore. I want to get this in as many people's hands as possible. And honestly, I'm tired of seeing business owners that struggle to make ends meet. I've worked my dad's business when he was just getting started, failed. He wasn't able to keep enough customers coming in to keep it going. The business that I just mentioned that I was a CFO of couldn't keep enough business coming in to keep it going. And it's become a passion of mine to help other people that are in that situation, that are on that cash flow roller coaster, that are not sure where their next piece of business is going to come from, to implement systems that are going to just totally eliminate those problems, guys. That's really what drives me and what I'm most passionate about. So guys, tell me in the chat if this sounds like you. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. And if the answer is yes, just type a Y or a yes in the chat box so I can see that yes, this does sound like you. Do you have some months where cash is just pouring into your business, but you just can't seem to maintain it? You can't seem to get any consistency. Or do you start out every month wondering where the next client's going to come from, where your sales are going to come from? Do you secretly know that your work is worth way more than what you're charging, but you're afraid that if you raise your prices, then you won't get any business and nobody's going to pay them? Does that sound like you? Or do you see other people out in the market that are doing the same thing you're doing? They're making the income that you want, and you just have no idea how they're doing it? Or maybe, and guys, I mean, who can't relate to this one? Are you working way too hard in your business, too many hours, and burning yourself out? Look, guys, I'm seeing a lot of yeses in the chat right now, and I just want to tell you that I know what it's like 100% because I've been in the exact place that you are right now. And I know that it doesn't have to be that way. I used to be in the exact same position, not having enough business coming in to make the money that I wanted to make, and worrying if my business would even succeed, and wondering, what are my friends going to think if this doesn't work out, all that kind of stuff. I've been there. And whether you're there right now or not, I know that everybody on this call has been there at some point. And you know what? I wouldn't change anything about my path, but it sure would have been easier if I would have known then what I know now. Because no matter what business you're in, having a system to generate consistent leads and clients, it eliminates all of those problems. And that's why I'm so excited for you to be here today, because for those of you who are committed, and I know that's why you're here today, it's going to be a real turning point for you. So here's the system. It includes 3 components: positioning, messaging, and systems. And they all work in tandem, and you need all 3 to really get great, consistent results. So if you try and shortcut the process or just like pull out one thing, it just doesn't work. But the beauty of this process is that it actually is really simple. Because of that, it's something that you can easily put in place, and you can trust that it is going to work for you. So the first thing I'm going to walk you through is positioning. And there are really 3 components to the positioning phase. And you need to do these 3 things before you do anything else. All right? Because like Abe said here, I love this quote. I've seen it, I've used it before. So if you've been on any of our trainings, you probably are familiar with this one. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. So let's talk about these LinkedIn axe sharpening activities that you need to do first. Well, the first step is understanding who it is that you want to target. We call that developing your prospect profile. Then number 2, optimizing your LinkedIn profile to convert views into leads. Then number 3, joining the right LinkedIn groups. So let's break down each of these and start with number 1, your prospect profile. So what is it? It is essentially, it's a one-page cheat sheet that includes the details on what your ideal client looks like. So once you have this, LinkedIn becomes so much more clear and easy to use, because you're not, just logging on every day and wasting time. You're not reinventing the wheel every time you go onto LinkedIn. Instead, it gives you a clear plan and focus that you can execute on. And I mean, who thinks that sounds better than what you're currently doing on LinkedIn, right? A clear plan and focus every time you log in. That's a no-brainer, right? Yeah. So now once you have this prospect profile in place, then you will have the keys to crafting your LinkedIn profile so that it appeals to your ideal client. And that's what the next step in the system is, optimizing your profile. And the goal here is to structure your profile so that it converts views into leads. Because look, you probably pay more attention to the who's viewed your profile section, right, than almost anything else on LinkedIn. It's the most visited area of LinkedIn, who's viewed your profile. But how many of those people are you actually converting into leads? It's probably not many, right? Well, you can change that. And we've discovered that there is a science to doing this, for taking a prospect who is looking at your LinkedIn profile and getting them to take a next step with you in your business. And it starts with having a compelling headline. All right. And that should say the headline formula, not the headline form you. But please forgive me for that one. But the first step is having a compelling headline formula, because that's one of the very first things that a prospect looks at. And here's our formula for crafting a headline that is going to get prospects interested in learning more about what you do. It's really pretty simple, but it works very well. You start with your title, then your company name, then say, I help, and then insert the avatar or the type of person that you can help, and then the benefit or the result that they get. And seriously, it's as simple as that. And you can modify it. You can change things around. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But the key is that you don't want to just say something like founder at JKC LLC, because that doesn't tell anybody anything. It doesn't give them a reason to really look into anything more about what you have going on, or to read any further on your profile. So that when you've got a formula like this in your headline, one of the things that it does is it gets them interested to read more, so that then they'll move down to your summary section after reading your headline. And there are a few different ways to do this. But what works for most people is to do these three things. Number one, tell a story. Don't just have a bunch of bullet points, listing your services. All right, so tell a story and spice it up. Maybe even use a case study or a testimonial if you can. That always is, goes a long way. Then from there, talk about what you do, and then close with a call to action. And this should be whatever the next step is you want somebody to take with you. It could be inviting them to connect. It could be inviting them to email you for more information, or it could be, sending them to opt in for an ebook or a webinar, whatever makes sense for your business. And you don't need to get fancy. If you don't have any of that stuff yet, just say something like, I'd love to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Please feel free to send me a connection request. And you'll pick up a lot of new connections that way. But let me tell you, doing this by itself isn't going to get you the kind of results that our clients get, because just fixing up your profile, that's a passive strategy. It's not going to increase the number of prospects that you're getting in front of. It's not going to get you in front of more clients. And that is the key to getting more clients and real, tangible, consistent results in new business, getting in front of more prospects. Which leads me to the third component of the positioning phase, which is joining the right LinkedIn groups, okay? And this is critical, guys. You can be in up to 100 groups on LinkedIn, and when you're in the right groups, it exposes you to hundreds of thousands of prospects. I mean, even potentially millions. The groups that I'm in give me access to about 2.4 million people. But most people make the mistake of joining subject matter groups that are related to their field. Now, it's okay to do that. Nothing wrong with it if you want to stay up to date on, the latest stuff happening in your industry, but you really only need to be in a couple of those. The rest of the groups that you're in should be groups that your prospects are in. So a couple examples. Let's say your business is focused on your local area, like St. Louis in my case. Well, then you want to be in lots of local groups to your city. Or let's say you're going after a specific type of position, like CFOs. Well, then you'd want to join lots of CFO groups. You can see right here, hundreds of thousands of people that you have access to in these groups. Or if your focus is a specific industry, then join groups related to that industry. Healthcare, for example, 12,000 groups with thousands of prospects in them. And guys, it's like this for any industry. Or let's say you're targeting the internet marketing space, right? Well, here you go, 5,000 plus groups that cater to people that work in the internet marketing industry. And you're going to use these groups for two specific purposes. Number one, you're going to leverage them in the systems phase as part of your drip marketing campaign. And I'm going to explain what all that means in just a bit. And number two, By being in these groups, it's going to give you access to prospects that you'll be able to work through our messaging processes to convert them into leads and appointments. So, quick recap about the importance of working through these 3 items, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So after you complete the prospect profile training, you'll have a crystal clear picture of your ideal prospect so that every time you log into LinkedIn, you'll have a clear plan of attack. You'll have a fully optimized LinkedIn profile so that you'll actually be converting profile views into leads, and you'll be in the right LinkedIn groups, which is going to give you access to hundreds of thousands of prospects. And now, once you have this foundation in place and you've got the positioning component complete, now it's time to start working on the messaging phase, which is where your results are really going to start picking up and you're going to start bringing in some clients. And it's only now that you have your foundation in place that you can really begin crafting the right message that will resonate with your prospects. Because if you don't have the positioning down, if you don't have the foundation in place, you're just kind of going to be spraying junk all over the place, right? So there are really 2 key messages that we want to focus on. One is the initial connection request, where you're going to get the prospect into your LinkedIn funnel. You're going to get them agreeing to connect with you and thus giving you permission to keep in touch and receive your communications. And then number 2, lead gen messaging strategies that we teach so that you can convert all of these new connections you're going to be developing into actual real-world business leads and clients. So let's start with connection requests. Now, when most people think about using LinkedIn and finding clients, this is what they think of: sending connection requests, which is great because if done properly, it can be a really powerful strategy. Unfortunately, though, most people don't get it right. So let's take a look at an example. Dawn Van Houten here. Let's say you're targeting marketing directors in your area. So she'd be a great fit, right? Awesome. Let's send her a connection request. Well, here's the stock connection request that LinkedIn sends with that generic, "I'd like to add you to my professional network" message. Now, you might as well tell the prospect, "Hey, I don't really care that much about you. I'm just firing off a bunch of connection requests to lots of people." I mean, I get probably 10 to 20 connection requests a day, sometimes more. And I'd say maybe 10% of them have a personalized message like the one you see here, which is why even if you don't even know the person you're reaching out to, if you just take the time to write a personalized message, your response rate goes through the roof. And it doesn't have to be some work of art or anything. You don't even need to toil over this. You can use the same script over and over again. You can say something like this: "Hey, Dawn, I noticed that we have a bunch of common connections. I thought it wouldn't hurt to reach out. I'd love to connect here if you're open to it. Thanks, Josh." And that's it. And again, guys, don't tell anybody else about this, but you can use the same script over and over again. And not surprisingly, this gets a 50 to 70% acceptance rate from cold prospects that have never heard of you before, which then gives you a constant stream of new relationships, new potential clients that you can work through the rest of our systems to turn these connections, these new relationships, into sales calls and meetings, and work them through your process to turn a percentage of those into clients, which leads us to the next step in the messaging phase, which is lead gen messaging. Because really, what good is it just connecting with people, right? I mean, there's certainly a lot of value in building a big list on LinkedIn and building a big database, which you can do really systematically with our processes. But what you really need is also to have a process for converting these connections into actual leads and clients. Now, one way you can do it is to simply connect and then go for a phone call like this. So you could say, "Hi, Bill, great to be connected. As much as I love all this social media stuff, I still really like to get to know my connections. Would you be open to a call or maybe grabbing a coffee sometime soon, just to get to know about each other's businesses and see how we might be able to help each other? How does next Tuesday morning look for you? Thanks, Josh." So a message like this can you'll get some leads off this. It can definitely work. Or you could use the same approach to get people to opt in for a webinar or an ebook or something like that. So same thing. "Hi, Bill, great to be connected. I couldn't help but think that you might be interested in a webinar that I have coming up this week. It's on an insert topic. I'm really excited about this one because then insert whatever the benefit is or the big problem that you're going to be solving on the webinar, or whatever you're going to be teaching, whatever the big benefit is to them. Here's a link to more info and to sign up. Then paste in your link. Thanks. And then put your name in there. Right? So both of these kinds of strategies can work really well, but you're basically just at that point connecting and then going for a phone call or getting them to sign up for a webinar or something like that. And you'll get some results this way. But your results won't be as good as if you build the relationship a bit first. And really, there are a number of lead gen messaging strategies that we teach. There really are too many to cover them all on the call today. I know that I've got a couple more for you guys that I'm going to be showing you in the second hour of the workshop today. I'm going to be walking you through the case study strategy. And then in our third hour today, I'm going to be showing you a system we call the Rick Hunter system. And that one's awesome. Both of them are really, really fantastic. But like I said, there's really too many for us to cover today. We've got a lot of different processes that we teach, and the right one for you is going to be really dependent on your business and the kinds of people that you're targeting on LinkedIn. But here's an overview of some of the more popular lessons that our clients are using to take cold prospects off LinkedIn and turn them into clients. One of them that almost all of our clients is using is the multi-touchpoint nurture campaign. It's really a drip messaging system within LinkedIn that warms people up to you and on average gets a 29% response rate from cold prospects agreeing to a phone call or a meeting with you. It's a fantastic system. Or we have a training on how to re-engage your first degree connections. So there's really an art and a science to taking prospects that you've been connected to on LinkedIn for a while. They look like they could be good fits for your business, but they've gone kind of dormant and you haven't talked to them in a long time. We've got strategies for warming them back up and getting you on the phone with them or moving them towards becoming a client with you. We have lessons on asking for the sale, some more direct approaches for people that say, you know what, I need to go right after it. I don't really have time to work through a long-term relationship building strategy. And the same with the cold pitch message, right? More strategies, just depending on your situation, where you're at with things, different things you can test. And, using any of these messaging strategies, you'll be able to pull prospects off of LinkedIn, turn them into real-world opportunities, and then convert a percentage of them into clients. And this is where our systems come in and really put the whole thing on steroids. So let's talk about that now. So far we've covered positioning, we've covered messaging, and now it's time to talk about the third component, systems. We've developed what we call the 365 marketing system. And we call it that because this system markets you and your business 24/7, 365 days a year. But what your prospects and your clients don't know is that it takes you only 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week to manage. So let me know in the chat if you think that sounds like something that would help your business solve a major problem. Let me know in the chat. Yeah, all right. Lots of yeses coming in. So of course, right? Pretty much everybody I show this to, it's a slam dunk. So let's talk about exactly what it is. Well, here are the 4 primary pieces of this system. Number 1, you got to reach out to 6 new prospects per day. Number 2, you got to utilize our proprietary campaign tracking system. Number 3, the monthly one-time setup of your drip marketing top of mind campaign, which works almost entirely on autopilot. And number 4, you have a little bit of time carved out to manage your inbox to follow up with all of your leads. So let's break each of these down. Now, you might be wondering, well, Josh, why 6 prospects per day? Well, first off, proactively reaching out to new prospects on a regular basis is the very best method for reaching your sales goals. Sitting around and hoping it will not work. It's proactively reaching out and bringing in new prospects. That's what moves the needle. That's the best way to reach your goals if you know the right way to do it. That is what takes you that's what takes your business to another level. Like when I was first getting started, in my business, before I had really developed and refined these systems, I would have those days where I'd get up in the morning and sit in front of my computer and wonder, where's my next client going to come from? What should I be doing today? And when you have a system that continually gets you in front of new, highly targeted prospects, that problem just disappears. Now, the second thing is that you can do more than 6 per day, right? But I want you to create a plan that you can really commit to and stick with. And 6 a day is nothing to stake a stick at. Is nothing to shake a stick at. That was great. What'd I say? Stake a stick at? Shake a stick at is what I meant. Because 6 prospects per day, 5 days a week, that comes out to about 1,560 qualified prospect leads over the course of 12 months. And think about it. I mean, how do you think that would impact your business to have that kind of volume coming in and to be able to just, sit back and reliably know that every day you're going to have a new flow of new prospects coming in to your business, right? I mean, that's huge. It's huge. So how do we go about finding these prospects in the first place? Well, there are a number of methods that we teach, but arguably the most powerful is LinkedIn's advanced people search. And once you understand how to use this, you can find your very best prospects, your ideal perfect clients really easily. And a lot of it ties in back to the positioning phase that we talked about and the prospect profile that we talked about earlier, because a lot of the things that we recommend that you put in your prospect profile, they're the exact same search criteria that you're going to use on LinkedIn to find new prospects over and over and over again. So let's look at a few examples here. Here's a search that you might use if you're, let's say, targeting local business owners. So just in the St. Louis area, as an example, 16,000 plus results for business owners. And these are only second degree connections and group members, which means that I can reach all of these people, right? And I'm going to show you how in just a minute. Now, here's a search that you might use if you're targeting business owners all over the United States. And this kind of process works no matter what country you're in, all right? But in the U.S., we have 400,000 plus business owners that, again, these are either second degree connections of mine or they're in a group with me, meaning I can reach all of these people. Or let's say that you're going after a specific type of person in a specific industry, like CEOs of IT companies. 117,000 results for that one. I mean, it's a virtually limitless supply of prospects. And it's like this for any type of person that you're targeting. It works even if you have a more broad criteria. Like, let's say you want to go after professional women. Well, there are over 4,000 groups on LinkedIn that cater to professional women, which gives you access to hundreds of thousands of prospects. Or let's say you've got a really focused niche. Even things like cooking, which you'd never think in a million years would be on LinkedIn, right? Well, they are. Thousands of people that are interested in cooking that you can target on LinkedIn. So guys, my point here is that it doesn't matter what niche you're in. All right? It doesn't matter what kind of business that you have. This will work for you. It's worked for over 6,000 of our students, and it'll work for you too. And one of the reasons that we know it will work for you is because we have the tools that you need to be able to do this effectively and efficiently, including our proprietary campaign tracking system, which is the second component of the 365 marketing system. So you see, here's the big problem that this solves, and this is a big one. Most business owners, most salespeople, most anybody that's looking for new business, most of them, they don't have a way to keep track of the different people that they're nurturing through their sales process, the different people that they're meeting, the different people that they're, connecting with, right? What do most people normally do? Well, they'll go connect with somebody and then they'll forget about it within a couple days. these systems and to get these results for your business. You're also going to have access to our Linked University VIP Club, where you will literally have 24/7 access to me, my team, and your coach. Not only to get your questions answered, but also to see what strategies are working for other people and to get all of the support that you need to reach your goals, whatever they might be. And you can see from some of these comments how much value our members and clients are getting out of this program and the high level of one-on-one support that you're going to be receiving. So let me tell you about both of our guarantees. Number one, our 30-day test drive. So you can watch the lessons, you can download the worksheets, you can work with your coach, you can try it all for 30 days, and if you don't like it, you'll get a full refund. The only condition being that you must actually try the course by submitting the workbooks for the first module, because, after all, it's a test drive, right? You got to actually try. Now, the second guarantee is our 90-day challenge. Double your money back guarantee. And nobody else does this. And here's how this works. If you follow our system, we guarantee you will build a network of at least 387 targeted prospects within 90 days. You'll maintain top of mind status as a leading expert in your industry, and you'll generate at least one new client within 3 months. If you follow our training, if you do the work and you don't get those results, then we'll double your money back. It's simple as that. Now, guys, the first 90 days, this is just the start. This is a system that's going to generate results for you for years to come. But I just want you to see how strongly we stand behind everything that we do. And this applies to you even if you don't have a website yet, even if you don't have an email list or a following at all, even if you've never been good at social media or you think you aren't any good at technology, even if you aren't yet sure which prospects to target on LinkedIn or just aren't sure where to get started. This will work for you, and you've got our guarantees to back you up. Our program and your coach will support and guide you throughout the entire process with no time limit, no expiration date, and will support you to reach your goals, whatever they may be. So think about this. What do people typically invest to create these kinds of results in their life and in their business? Well, there are a few options. Well, one of them, as I mentioned at the beginning, is that you could hire my company Link Selling to do it for you. And over a 12-month campaign, our clients typically spend $30,000 or more, which is, it's well worth it considering the kinds of ROI that our clients get from working with us. Option number two is you could go find a coach or hire a marketing consultant in your area, and you're probably looking at spending, $10,000 or $15,000 or more. That doesn't even take into consideration that they almost certainly don't know a thing about our systems and the methods that we teach that are proven and guaranteed. Or you could try and do it yourself, which might sound free to you, but it's really not, because you're going to end up spending money on other things. You're going to invest in other trainings, other tools, and it'll end up taking you a lot longer to try and piece it all together, not to mention the opportunity costs of taking too much time to try and figure it out on your own. And at the end of the day, you're really looking at spending a lot. And seriously, all of these paths would be worth it if they only delivered on the results that they promise. Except they don't, at least not reliably. And with the exception of my company, these other paths, they don't come with a guarantee. But we do. And it costs a lot less to get started. So you can get started today for a one-time payment of just $897, which if you look at the cost over 12 months, that's only $2.46 a day. Guys, for this masterclass only, I'm giving you lifetime access to all of the training and your coach for just this one-time payment of $897. So that's all you need to commit, plus your work and dedication to achieve these kinds of results for your business. But we're not leaving this offer on the table for long. It is only available until Sunday at midnight PST, Pacific time. And the bottom line, it's truly the most incredible offer that we've ever put together. And I'm not going to leave it open past Sunday. So if all that sounds good to you, then I'm excited to personally invite you to join us inside Linked University. And I've got a few really special bonuses for those of you who are ready to jump in now. The first bonus, if you join by Sunday, is a one-on-one welcome call with your coach. So once you join, we're going to reach out to schedule a one-on-one welcome call between you and your coach to get to know each other, to talk about your business, and really put the right plan in place for you. Okay, now think about this for a minute. What other programs out there provide this level of personal support? Not many. And the ones that do that I've seen are typically $5,000 or $10,000 or more. And here's what makes it even better. When you join by Sunday, I'm also going to give you access to our private partner program. So only about 10% of Linked University members have historically been allowed into the partner program. But I'm opening the doors to you today, and here's how it works. For any friend that you refer to our program, you'll get a 40% commission. So if you just refer a few friends or colleagues, you'll more than pay for your entire membership fee. But it gets even better because there are no caps on the number of referrals that you can make. So theoretically, the sky's the limit on your income potential just for referring people to us, which is a pretty great and easy thing to do because let me tell you, people are dying to get this kind of information. So when you're the one that shares it with them, you look like a hero. And you know, go ahead and crunch the numbers right now. If you refer just a couple people a month over the next year, you know, how much does that add up to in income for you? Well, I'll tell you because I did the math, it's over $8,000. Now, I want you to know, I want to be really clear. This is not a business opportunity. If you're thinking about joining just so you can make commissions, I really don't want you to. We only want members in our program who are seriously implementing our strategies because when you're getting great results, you're going to tell your friends about the success that you're having. And when they ask you, you know, hey, what's the secret? You're going to tell them, well, it's this program I'm part of called Linked University. And then they're going to want to join. And when they do, you'll make some money too. So that's how it works, guys. Now, I've also got a few fast mover bonuses, and these are only available for the first 30 people that join on this workshop right now. And the first one is a complimentary LinkedIn profile critique that's going to be done by your coach. They're going to review your profile. They're going to provide you with an in-depth report detailing the things that you need to do to really take it up a notch, to really stand out. And this alone is a $400 value. First 30 to join, get it totally complimentary. The second fast mover bonus is a premium training on generating leads and high-paying clients using webinars. And this is a great complement to what you'll be learning inside Linked University. And once you have your LinkedIn system up and running, you'll be able to add this strategy into the mix to get even greater results. And this one alone is a $475 value. And then the third fast mover bonus is our LinkedIn advertising training. It's called LinkedIn Academy. And in it, you'll learn the strategies that we're using to generate leads for between $4 and $15 a piece. And guys, nobody else is teaching this stuff but us. And I know some of you, once you get our core strategies in place, you're going to want to use some of these advertising strategies as well. So I'm including that as well. That's a $297 value. But again, guys, these fast mover bonuses, these are only for the first 30 people who join. And I'm doing that because I know that our best clients are people that trust themselves and people that take action. And those are the people that really get the best results. So to reward those of you who are ready to jump in now, here's what you do. Place your order at linkeduniversity.com/join. Then once your order is complete, come back into the chat or the questions box and type in "I'm in" so that we know to count you as one of the first 30. And keep in mind, if you're just saying "I'm in" the chat, but you haven't actually placed your order, it won't count. All right? All good? All right. Awesome. So here's what will happen next. First, take the plunge. Go to linkeduniversity.com/join right now and join Linked University. Do the work supported by your dedicated coach, then launch your LinkedIn system and take your business to the next level. That's it, guys. And here's what some more of our clients have had to say about Linked University and their results of working with us. Like John Lee here, in 18 months of cold calling, he got nowhere. 2 weeks into our program, he's generated 100 leads. Or Judy Fitzpatrick used one simple strategy to book 28 appointments in 1 week. Tim Stanford, he's gone from fishing in a small pool of existing referrals to a much bigger pool of connections brought in from this system, and he now has a continuous stream of quality leads. He told me he's generated close to 200 appointments in just 12 months. Tom Swip, who I've already mentioned, he's generated over $600,000 in new business. I told you guys about Ben Cohen, the amazing results that it's generated for Ben and for his family. Or Joe Scherer and the 7 new clients he picked up in just 2 months using our systems. Well, how about Gene Connolly, a financial advisor who's generated a hefty, as he put it, a hefty amount of qualified leads and over 20,000 in income. Or Dan Demers, a business consultant who's landed 2 engagements in the 5-figure range within days of using the system. And I talked to Dan a couple weeks ago. He was telling me that his business now has a steady 5-figure revenue month in, month out as a result of our systems. He's now able to do things with his family he wasn't able to do. I mean, it was just amazing hearing from him. Like he's able to go on vacations now that he wasn't able to do before. And like just the impact that's had on Dan and his family and his life is just amazing and just awesome to hear. Or Ann Gordon, who's like some of our members. Ann works part-time in her business. She picks and chooses when she wants to spend time generating leads, but when she's ready, she jumps in, she follows our training, and she gets some leads. So guys, just a quick recap. When you join Linked University with the link on your screen there, by Sunday at midnight, you're going to get all 32 lessons and 7 modules, including video, audio, and workbooks. You're going to have your own dedicated coach who will work with you to support you through the program. You have lifetime access to all the content and the coaching. You get our 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you try it and it turns out it's just not for you, then there's no risk at all. We'll give you your money back. You get our 90-day challenge guarantee, which says if you follow our system and you don't get at least a new client within 90 days, then we'll refund your tuition and we'll give you an extra $897. You get the one-on-one bonus welcome call with your coach. You get access to our private partner program, which allows you to get 40% commissions on anybody that you refer to us. You get all the fast mover bonuses, including your LinkedIn profile critique and analysis, the premium training on generating high-quality clients using webinars, and our LinkedIn ads training. You get everything, and you can get started for just $897 today. So go right now to the link on your screen there, linkeduniversity.com/join, and sign up. And keep in mind the fast mover bonuses, those are only available to the first 30 who join. So once you place your order, come back into the chat, say I'm in, and we'll count you in for those. All right? Awesome. Okay, guys. Well,